Hello, hello. I thought I would do a little BlackOween-a-thon update because I finished two books and I'm really excited. I posted one review already, sort of, but we'll just get into it. I finished The Conjuring Man Dies by Rudolph Fisher. This was incredible. This was written in 1932. It is the first black detective novel. And it was phenomenal. There's a little intro in the very beginning that talks about Rudolph Fisher, and he was a doctor, and you can tell in reading this that he is in the medical field because there's just moments where that is brought up, obviously a detective novel. But the story is basically Dr. John Archer is working away in his office and someone starts banging on the door and is like, yo, we need you across the street because the Conjure Man is like unconscious and we don't know what's going on. So he runs across and there's, a room full of people, and he goes up to the man and notices that like he has like a gash in his head, but not a big enough hit to have killed him. And he like, checks for a pulse and he's like, he's dead. So he has the people in the room call the police. The police show up, who are also black. Every character in this is black. And they start trying to figure out who killed the Conjure Man, whose name is Frimbo. There's a whole section where they are interviewing every person in the office who was there at the time, questioning, why were you here? Did you have something against Frimbo? What's going on? And it was just phenomenal. It literally, the first page, like, you're immediately in the story, which I wasn't expecting, because whenever I pick up a classic, I'm expecting 4 pages just telling me what kind of tea is being made, what kind of tie the main character is wearing, and how some woman's boobs move every time she breathes. Like, that's what I'm expecting. So I was very happy that this just instantly got into the mystery, got into the problem solving. We got to see all these different characters, and the humor within a lot of what the characters were saying was really a delight. And I loved this. By the end, it had me twisting and turning. I did not guess the ending. I thought I had it figured out. I didn't. But back to the medical discussions within the book. There's a part where they have they have found dentures, presumably belonging to Frimbo, and the doctor is talking about how they can easily figure that out. And the detective is like, you can figure out whose teeth are someone's. Like they find dentures, and then I think they actually find like a couple teeth. And then the doctor goes on about how, like, yeah, you can tell whose teeth these are by going through like dental records and like testing the teeth and all that. Then there's another section where they find blood, and or the doctor like swabs some blood from the body and is gonna run some tests to compare it with blood that they found on a club. I don't want to spoil too much, but they find blood somewhere else and they're gonna test it. And the detective again is like, I thought blood was just like blood, like you can figure out whose blood this is. And he's like, yeah. And he goes into this like big long discussion about blood and how you can test like what your blood type is. And that was just so fascinating to read. There was also another time where the doctor is talking to one of the he is talking to the detective, and he's like, yo, I had to move the body to this other room, but that's because I didn't know that he was dead. And the detective's like, oh, there's no law against like moving a body, you're fine. And like I'm pretty sure that's not the case now. I'm pretty sure you can't just be like moving bodies you're pretty sure are dead. That's like tampering with like the crime scene and stuff. The detective's like, yeah, there's no law against that. Anyway, this is just very interesting. There are 2 characters named Bubba Brown and Jinx Jenkins, and I had fun following around Bubba Brown. He came in with this like comedic relief and just stupidity sometimes, and so did Jinx. And they are in the book that Rudolph Fisher wrote before this, which is called Walls of Jericho. Um, and these two are in it, and it's a satire, and I'm really excited to read that one as well. But I just highly recommend The Conjuring Man Dies. It was a great mystery. It had some thrilling elements. It had some twists and turns. It was really cool to read a detective novel where every character was Black, and it was written in the 1930s. Like, that's amazing. It also made me sad though, because Rudolph Fisher died a couple years after this was published. He died at the age of 37 due to like X-ray exposure, because that's what his profession was and what he was researching on. But yeah, I want to read more of him because this was great to read. I enjoyed this. The second book that I have read for BlackOween is Devil in a Blue Dress by Walter Mosley. I wanted to pick this up because I know that Brie loves the Easy Rawlins series. I think she said there's 16 books. This is the first one. And yeah, this is about Easy Rawlins, who is a Black World War II veteran, and he's in LA. Yes, he's in LA, and this white man recruits him to go find this white girl who's constantly hanging out in like the Black speakeasies, or like jazz bars, and he wants Easy to go find her. Well, that just cracks open a whole can of worms throughout the entire book, and things end up getting more dangerous than he was expecting. And this definitely made me want to continue on reading the series. There's a lot of characters that we meet for just a little bit, and we get the understanding like, oh, Easy has like a really deep connection to them, or like strong friendships, or something has happened between them, that I'm assuming they come back in the rest of the 16 book series. I just noticed I have something on me. Oh, I was cooking. Okay. I get stuff everywhere. Side note, whenever I cook at my mom's house, food just ends up everywhere. I don't mean to be that messy when I cook, but it's just stuff everywhere. And I'll be cooking and she'll be like behind me with like her broom or like her vacuum, and she'll be like, gosh, I always know when you're at my house because there's just ingredients everywhere. Like, I'm sorry. I think at one point she said I was like what's the chef Muppet? Oh, what's his name? Oh, I can't remember. But he's like cooking and like stuff is flying. She was like, that's you when you cook. And it's so true. I'm so sorry, Mom. Anyway, I don't remember what I was saying. This was a really good mystery. Obviously, it's Walter Mosley. But the whole time I was like, why is everyone chasing after this white girl? What's going on? Like, everybody is like, she's the best. We gotta find her. It's wild. There's a ton of trigger warnings. Before reading this, I would look into those. I will be having my review posted later today, and I'll include those content warnings. But I'm sure you can look them up and they will be there. You don't have to look out for my review. But yeah, this is just really good. I've read one other Walter Mosley book, and I cannot remember what it is. I didn't log it in Storygraph or Goodreads. I didn't check Goodreads, but I don't remember the name. I can barely remember the plot. This one was more memorable to me. Could have just been because I'm reading it for BlackOween, so, you know, I have that focus. Anyway, this was a very good mystery. I strongly recommend it. Get into Walter Mosley. This was like another cool detective private eye situation that just like kept snowballing into something else. Because I'll be real with you, a little spoilery, I guess, but in like the very beginning, he knows where the white girl's at. He's like, she's over there. And you're like, oh, we're on page, like, I don't know, 30 or something? I don't know. It's like very early. He's like, oh, this is her home address. Bye. No, not bye. No, things get more crazy and wild by the end. So I'm very excited to follow Easy through more investigations, because it's like, what's gonna happen next? And now my current read, I'm currently reading No Gods, No Monsters, and so far really liking it. I am on page 139, and really, really enjoying it. This has a bunch of different points of view. The first one, you don't get the name of the character. The second one, a woman's brother has been killed by police. And as she tries getting answers for what has happened to her brother, it basically it gets revealed that monsters are real and they're here to say what's up. So that was very interesting. Then we have another point of view of a man who got out of, or his wife divorced him, and he basically got in deep to like Reddit conspiracy posts and noticed that like one of his friends through this like subreddit has stopped posting. And that lands him in a very sticky situation. And then we have the point of view of some woman who, I'm trying to be so vague. You have a point of view of some woman who knew the gal whose brother got killed by police. She knew his brother. I don't want to say much because it all comes together. But so far, I'm really liking it. I like the jumping around of points of view. There's like this ghostly voice, I guess, throughout it that I'm interested to see what happens with them. But yeah, that's what I'm reading. I am also listening to The Violin Conspiracy, just very slowly, because I've been so wrapped up in this and the other two books that I haven't really been sticking to my audio. But yeah, how's your BlackOween going? What are you reading? Please let me know. Have you finished a book? Are you close to finishing a book? I just want to do a little check-in, and yeah, I hope it's going well. I will see y'all on someone's sprints. Bye.